Every single day walking around cities in Canada, I can't determine whether I'm in Iraq, Afghanistan, some other Middle Eastern country, or India. It's truly shocking.
All right, I'm gonna have to jump in here really quickly, and I hate to do that, but when this guy says he feels like he's in Iraq or Afghanistan, just take a look at the backdrop, and then you know that there's no way that he's in Afghanistan or in Iraq.
Shocking to me when you look throughout history how Canadians have swallowed hook, line, and sinker that if you're not pro-immigration, you're somehow some sort of a racist. Throughout history, it's been intuitive. The government is elected to look after the people who elected them. Immigration would be allowed in as long as it was beneficial to the people who were currently living in the country. That was what we looked out for first and foremost. With Justin Trudeau and the Liberals' woke nonsense, they've somehow brainwashed Canadians into thinking that if you are anti-immigration, you're a racist, you're a hater, you're not accepting of other people. It has absolutely nothing to do with this. It's an economic argument. People who have lived in this country for the entirety of their lives know how much worse our economy has gotten. Isn't that the primary concern of the government? To ensure that there's a functional economy for the citizens who are currently living in that country? Our middle class, lower class.
Yeah, so again, I'm gonna dive in again really quickly. I'm gonna link this guy's video in the description, of course. Going forward, I'm gonna start doing a better job of that as well, just to give credit to the original creators. But I do agree with him here. I think the immigration in Canada, I think the government meant well. I think they meant well when they opened the floodgates. It was as a way to boost the economy. Because as you already know, Canadians are not really they're not procreating that much anymore. I don't know. Anybody can let me know down in the comments below what are the birth rate numbers, right? But I think they always need the taxpayers base, and I think that's where the immigration comes in. It's a way to kind of boost that economy. But what I think they didn't really do well is that they didn't do it in a systematic way, right? I think they just did it way too fast, way too soon, and there was not enough amenities for these newcomers. And that's why prices of housing rose up, cost of living rose up, unemployment. Now it's very hard for Canadians to find jobs because now we're competing against like new people as well. Some of them are even older, right, with many years of experience from the countries that they're coming from. So I think he does have a very good point.
Is disappearing. Houses are becoming more and more unaffordable every day. I could list through a million things that are detrimental in our society that are happening due to these mass immigration levels. And what does Mark Carney do once he gets elected into office? He continues the same mass immigration numbers that Trudeau has allowed in. Our population is now over 41 million. And I don't need to even cite statistics. If you're a Canadian living in our cities, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This country has absolutely transformed. Demographics are destiny. Don't let them cower you. Let them say that you're some sort of a bigot for saying no to immigration. It has absolutely nothing to do with hate. It has to do with self-love. Those of us who have ancestors who died.
Yeah, like even I myself, I'm an immigrant. I immigrated to Canada in 2008. And I see that they got it a little bit wrong. Even Justin Trudeau himself admitted, I'll try and find that clip, but he admitted that they might have gotten it wrong with the way they did the immigration. So I think there's no denying that they overdid it. And then when McCartney got voted in again, I think a lot of people voted for McCartney because of Trump won that election, right? Like we can deny it all we want, but I think Trump winning the American election played a very big role in McCartney winning the election in Canada for Prime Minister. Y'all let me know down in the comments below if you agree or disagree with me. Because I think Carney was voted in specifically to fight Trump with the elbows up and everything. And to that effect, I think he has done a fantastic job. Probably better than Pierre Poilievre could have done. But let's not forget why he was voted in. But I think Canadians forgot about the other problems that we were dealing with the past 10 years with the previous Liberal governments. And that's why a lot of people wanted change. And even I myself, I wanted change. Actually, this was my first time voting in Canada. And I wanted some change as well, right? But I do agree that McCartney is the guy as it comes to these negotiations for the tariffs. Because we don't want someone that is just going to fold against DJT. There's nothing I hate more than a bully.
In World War I, World War II, we have the primary right in this country to be looked after by our government. Feel as though we're electing people who actually give a shit about Canadians who have been here for a long time. And that's the exact opposite of what we get. It's time that we fight back. Check out my Substack, subscribe. We need to make our voices heard. We need Trump-like policies to reduce and restrict and get rid of the illegal and criminal immigrants who are here, because this country is going down the absolute shitter unless real Canadians stand up and start fighting immediately.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about that? Do you really think Canada needs Trump-like policies? I think, yeah, like no government is going to be perfect, right? Like we already know no government is ever going to be perfect. Whether it's McCartney or Pierre Poilievre or Justin Trudeau or Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, whoever it is, right? They're always going to have some good things about them and some things that you're not going to appreciate about them. But I think McCartney, being like a former banker, he led the Bank of England, led the Bank of Canada. I think as Canada heads towards a recession, right? Because that's what we're heading towards if we're not already there. I think we're already there, right? So I think it's good that we have like someone that is like a major economist, a banker, right? Like McCartney at the helm, especially if he's going to put those skills to good use. And we're going to check out some comments here just to see what people are saying about this. But I do want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Do you really think that immigration is the only thing to blame for where Canada is right now? Or do you think that there's more at play here? Because I think that there's more at play here. I think the way we handled the COVID crisis, with the way things were shut down and small businesses, they were labeled non-essential. I think that played a major role as well, right? That's where we saw the prices of things doubling was during COVID. And I think that's what really, really played a big role and devastated the economy. And I think now the immigration is just exacerbating the issue. The mass immigration that they've done here with the refugees and like the asylum seekers and what have you, right? So we're going to check out some comments here. One comment says, our homeless get a sleeping bag, immigrants get an apartment and a check. I mean, and even the sleeping bags you see sometimes, they even don't let them be homeless in peace, right? They're like, oh, you can't stay here, you can't stay there, you got to move here, you got to move there, right? They get moved around. So this guy has a good point. And I know for a fact that refugees, they got put in the Ramada Inn in Cornwall, Ontario. I know this because my mother-in-law worked in that hotel, right? They pretty much booked up that hotel to put in refugees. No lie. Check it out if you want. This is in Cornwall, Ontario at the Ramada Inn. The whole hotel was booked shut with refugees. Someone else says, I live in Brampton, Ontario. Let's just say I definitely feel like I'm in a different country when I walk out my door. So I hear a lot about Brampton being like the new India or whatever. I've never been to Brampton before, but please let me know down in the comments below. Is that true? Is Brampton really like 80% Indian and 20% the rest? Who knows? I don't know. Never been there. Someone else said, okay, I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to skip any comment that is like not adding any value, right? I only want comments that have substance. So if you're just lashing out or whatever, then I'm just going to skip that comment. Someone else says, we're a minority now. My kids can't get jobs because of the color of their skin. They are being passed over because they are white. It's so wrong. So I don't think that the kids are being looked over because of the color of their skin. I do think what's happening here is the companies, they will rather hire the immigrants because the government gives them incentives to do so. So there are these incentives where the government pays a percentage of their salaries if they hire immigrants. And that's what these companies, they're taking advantage of. I think that's what we're seeing happening here. So someone else says, when do we as the people come together and say enough is enough? I guess people tried to do that during the Freedom Convoy. You remember that Freedom Convoy? And people are still paying the price still today. So we saw what happened that last time. They got pretty much forsaken by their fellow Canadians up in Ottawa. They claimed they were honking too much. And they pretty much got villainized and carried away. They got them the hell up out of there. So we keep going here. Someone else says the UK is standing up. All right. Okay, somebody says, I need the indigenous people opinion on this. Upside down smiley face. So I guess this person is trying to say that the Canadians that are crying about immigrants, they also usurped the indigenous people that were here. So there's something to be said there, right? Because most Canadians, they immigrated from Europe. And somebody else just confirms that by saying we are all immigrants, by the way. So anyways, there you have it, guys. Like a lot of the comments here, they're kind of agreeing that immigration is definitely a major concern here in Canada. But I do want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're vibing with me. And until next time, peace.